Hello, everybody. It's a little bit after 9. I'm coming in just a little bit late on tonight. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in. Come on in, come on in. Hopefully, I have some people to join me tonight. Hopefully, you can be here. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Where's everybody tonight? Come on in. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm sure we're getting busy. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, Shatara. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. I know the Aggies, we are disappointed. Oh, yeah. But Aggie pride in here. Come on in. We had a great season. But Central was too much for us. Bless God. Come on in, everybody. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I got some stuff I want to share with you tonight. Hey, Shalonda, come on in. Welcome, everybody. I'm getting started just a little bit late here tonight, but I am definitely excited about what we're gonna talk about on tonight. So I'm gonna hold on just a few more minutes, and hopefully others will come on in. Come on in. I hope you ladies have been doing well, getting ready for Thanksgiving. It is, wow, seems like we just started the season. August was just around the corner, and bam, we're here in Thanksgiving already. My children are already talking about Christmas, and I'm not ready yet. I need a few more weeks to get ready for Christmas, bless God. But it is moving very, very fast, and we've got to keep going with the times, I'm telling you. But I'm excited tonight. I'm excited. I've got a topic that we're going to talk about just a little bit tonight. I don't want to talk a lot about that this particular topic, because I'm going to talk in detail a tremendous amount in the 10-week course on forgiveness. But for right now, since there's a couple of us, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm excited about you guys being here and joining in with me. Shoot me some feedback a little bit on what you guys have been getting, what you guys have been learning, or even what you may have started to apply. If there's anything that you've applied, tell me what's going on with you in terms of your marriage and where you are. You can either shoot it back in my messenger and just give me a heads up. I've had quite a few ladies that have hit me up and shared things that they are applying and doing, and they're seeing some results. So I'm excited about that. But tonight I wanted to touch on a topic that I think is one of the most important topics as it relates to our marriages, and that is forgiveness. Along with communication, forgiveness is huge. Forgiveness is very important. And so the topic for tonight is forgiveness is a choice. It's a choice that you absolutely make. You choose to forgive your spouse. Forgiveness is hard. Forgiveness is very difficult. It's not something that just happens. It's a decision that I'm making. It's a conscious, intentional effort that I'm making daily to forgive a particular person or forgive a particular, to forgive a particular person based on what has occurred. But forgiveness really, it's a tug of war. It tugs at your heart. It tugs at your ability to reconnect with that individual. So forgiveness is really not so much about the other person as it really is about you. Forgiveness is really about you releasing that person from the pain or the hurt or the offense that they have brought upon or inflicted upon you by their actions and their behavior. And so forgiveness simply means that I have to be willing to let it go. I have to be willing to no longer hold it. And how many of you know that sometimes, we don't forgive people? Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Taria. Hi, Charlotte. Sometimes we don't forgive a person. We pretty much hold that person hostage to us. Let me give you a good example. We all can probably say yes, you've had a situation where someone has hurt you very deeply, offended you, did something, and they may have apologized, may not have apologized, may have said the only thing they said that was sorry, and maybe not said anything. But we have, because we're trying to do the right thing, we'll say something like, "Oh, I forgive you," when in essence we really haven't. And what happens many times is that person, the thought of what they did will begin to roll in our mind almost like a recorder. It rewinds and it winds again, and it continues to play over and over and over what they did. It continues to affect you almost in the same way it did when it occurred. It just rolls over and over and over and over and over. And so, okay, Shalonda. And so it just rolls over and over and over in your mind. And that's a clear indication that you really haven't forgiven the person. You really haven't let it go, because when the motor of your mind continues to replay the action and the emotion you had while that action actually happened is still fresh, you can feel it. You can almost like you were sitting there again. I always use the example, if you were wearing a pair of jeans on the day that you received that offense, on the day that that person hurt you, on the day that person did the absolute worst that they could do, if you were wearing a pair of jeans and there's a situation that comes up maybe years down the road that is similar to that particular experience, and it feels like you have those jeans back on again, then that means you haven't forgiven. And sometimes what holds us hostage, ladies, is that we are unwilling to take the noose off of our neck and take the noose off of our spouse's neck, specifically our husbands, and let them go free from the offense that has occurred. We are human beings, and as human beings, we have the potential to hurt and offend one another on a daily basis. Why? Because we are flesh. I may say something out of my mouth that I think is perfectly okay to say, but the way my husband may hear it, the way my husband may perceive it, determines whether it's an offense or not. Do I have control over that? I may have some control, but I can't be in control of how he receives it. And so sometimes when our husbands say things out of their mouth, say or have no action whatsoever, give us the silent treatment of not talking or not communicating, we have a perception about that behavior. And our perception of that behavior determines whether or not we are connecting to them or not. And if we get offended because we are perceiving their behavior to mean a certain thing, or we're interpreting their behavior to mean a certain thing, and we are unwilling to forgive them, that we hold them hostage to that particular thing that sometimes they don't even know we're holding them hostage to. So forgiveness is very important. Forgiveness is an important situation. It's important because we absolutely have to forgive our spouses daily. Are they going to say everything the way we want it to be said? Absolutely not. Are they going to do everything we want them to do? Absolutely not. Are they going to be how we want them to be? Absolutely not. Because we're not that way either. Many times we're not the same person that we were every single day. Many of us are moody. Tell the truth. Some of us ladies are very moody. And when we're on our cycle or not on our cycle, or we're doing our PMS, we are worse. Come on, y'all can give me some thumbs up, some hearts, something. Talk back to me. Y'all know I like a talking class. Y'all don't like to talk back. But we have different moods, different ways that we are, different attitudes that we have. We say things all the time that are offensive, but yet we want our husbands to let it go. But when he says something that's offensive, we have trouble letting it go. We have trouble looking beyond what has happened, the behavior, and let's go to the individual and see if they intended to do that. Many times we take attacks and we run with it because we feel like it's a personal attack against me and they are trying to hurt me. But your husband, your spouse, you guys should be on the same team. What two teammates? If you've ever seen a basketball game or a football game and the two are arguing, the team is fussing among themselves, that team always loses. They never win because they're not on the same page. So forgiveness says, I'm willing to let it go. I'm willing to release you from this pain. I'm willing to release you from the hostage, me holding you hostage to this thing, so that I can get peace in my heart and be able to reconnect with you. One of the most important things I had to do as it relates to me and my husband was to forgive. I had to forgive daily. Daily I had to forgive. Every morning that I woke up, I had to say, I forgive. I didn't say I forgive and make an excuse about what the person does. So forgiveness is not about making an excuse for what they do. Forgiveness is me actually acknowledging that that's what you did and it hurt me. And so I'm forgiving you. But many times what we try to do is we try to convince the person that they're wrong. And people many times they don't acknowledge that they're wrong. It's hard for us as human beings to acknowledge when we're wrong. It's hard for our husbands to acknowledge when they're wrong. They'll talk all around it. Yeah, they'll talk all around the area to finally get around and say, okay, well, I did. And at that point, you don't want the apology then because you've had to do too much work to get them to apologize. So forgiveness really is not me trying to coerce you to apologize to me. Forgiveness is me going to extend extend the forgiveness towards you, even if you don't apologize. Because at the end of the day, forgiveness is really about me and really not about you. I've got to be willing to let it go for my own sake. Because how many of you know if you hold unforgiveness in your heart, it can make you sick, it can make you ill from a mental perspective and from an emotional perspective. For the period of time that I was walking in unforgiveness towards my husband, it was a very disconnected period of time for me. I didn't want to talk to him, didn't want to see him, didn't want to be in his presence. Surely didn't want him to touch me. And so many times I would lay there with tears in my eyes and crying while he's asleep because I'm holding unforgiveness. I hadn't let it go. There are so many people that we hold hostage to ourselves that we haven't forgiven for hurting us. And some of us as grown women have things that have hurt us even as little girls that we haven't fully forgiven, that we haven't fully released the person from the hurt and the pain of what they did to us. And that stuff comes alive when we get into our marriages. Sometimes it takes a little bit of me deciding, you know what? I got to see what's most important here. What's the most important thing for me right now? To hold on to this and keep us separated, or to let it go and keep us moving forward? That's exactly right, Charlotte. We have to regroup. We got to regroup, take a moment and breathe. Is it worth me holding on to? Is it worth me being mad for 3-4 days? Is it worth me separating myself from my spouse, or separating myself from my husband because I can't forgive? But we want them to forgive us. And so even as I shared the other day, it's more of a not saying I'm sorry as it is forgiving and saying these are the reasons why I'm forgiving. Now, one of the things I'm going to teach in my 10-week course is how do you forgive a person? How does that forgiveness process begin? What does that forgiveness process look like? Because sometimes when you go to a person and say, I need to talk to you about something and I need to forgive you, they'll look back at you like, what you forgiving me for? I didn't do anything to you. Well, that can throw you back into several years of struggle in your mind and still holding on to it if that person doesn't acknowledge that they have hurt you. So that there are things that I teach you to do that I've done for myself that's removed me from looking at that person and trying to force them to acknowledge the pain that they've inflicted upon me. And so I'm going to teach that in my course. But one of the things I do is I often would journal what has occurred to me. I journal what happened. I journal what I felt. I journal how it felt to me, what the pain felt like. I journal my pain. I don't try to keep it in my heart. I try not to keep it inside. The more you keep in unforgiveness and that pain, it causes stress. It causes anxiety. It causes your back to hurt, neck to hurt, head hurting, body to start acting out. Emotionally, you begin acting out. Your physical body is directly attached to your emotional state. I tell all of my clients, how you are mentally, I will be able to see it, how your body is responding. So if you are in anxiety, you're not sleeping well, you're not resting well, you're always anxious, you're feeling stressed out, you're a little bit depressed, you don't want to get up and go anywhere, you want to lay in the bed, then there is some unforgiveness somewhere. There's something somewhere that you haven't completely let go. So ladies, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more because you know what? Forgiving our husbands is so important. I would rather forgive. I've learned that when I forgive my husband, I keep peace in my house on my side. That's my responsibility. I'm not waiting on him to keep the peace. He's got his part, but I'm going to keep the peace as far as I can, up to my ability to keep the peace. And so when I feel like I've been offended, I'm going to forgive him. And I may say to him, you know, that what you did, that hurt me. I didn't appreciate that actual comment. I may bring it to his attention. Most of the time I do bring it to his attention. But I'm not bringing it to his attention in an argumentative, in a way of fussing. I bring it to his attention just so he's aware. And I often will say to him, I'm not looking for you to respond. I'm not looking for you to say anything. I just need to let you know that right there was hurtful. What we do is we come at them like, you shouldn't have did that, and you shouldn't have did this, and you shouldn't have said that to me. We're trying to get them back for what they did. And many times it doesn't hurt the same way it came to you. And so what I normally do, and that's just me, just a tip that I do, is I will acknowledge that it hurt, and I'll let him know that it hurt me. I'm not looking for him to respond. I'm not looking for you to give me any feedback. But I want you to be aware that that particular behavior hurt. Then I'm going to go get my journal, and I'm going to journal out what exactly I felt. I'm going to journal out what I felt and the pain I felt. And then I'm going to say, help me to forgive it. Help me to release it. Help me to let it go. Okay? This is just a little tip. I'm just talking a little bit tonight. I'm not going to go into detail a whole lot because I really want to reserve it for this class I'm going to be teaching. I'm sorry, guys. My eyes are very tired. I've been had a very, very long weekend. But I'm going to share a whole lot more in detail. For some of you all, it may be easy for you to let go and forgive. But some of you all are holding on to stuff that has happened 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last night, yesterday, and you hold it and hold it. It shuts you down. It keeps you from talking. It keeps you from interacting with your spouse. It shuts your bedroom down. It's cold in there. You turn over, push his hand off, don't want to be next to him. Unforgiveness. I'm unwilling to let go of the offense or the pain that you have inflicted upon me. And I'm telling you, one of the most important things to recovery from anything that has occurred in your marriage, whether it's just an argument that happened, whether it's something that went down in terms of cheating, whatever, forgiveness has to be a part. Forgiveness, flexibility are two of the most important principles or pieces that you must have in your relationship. Forgiving my spouse daily, forgiving him over and over and over and over and over again. I've got to forgive. And then I've got to be flexible. Flexible to allow time for my heart to heal from the pain of it. Now, some of you may be saying, well, he's done it over and over. He just keeps on doing it. He just keeps on doing it. Seems like he don't get it. He don't get that he's hurting me. Here again, this is where I'm saying to you, you bring it to the forefront. You let it be made known. That behavior hurts. I don't like that. And then you have to make it known, I don't agree with how you're doing that, and I would appreciate it if you stop. But again, we're going to talk a lot about that. I've got a lot of homework for you. For those of you who want to be in the course, I've got a lot of things that I do with my clients that really help with coming to a place of forgiving and releasing. Again, forgiveness is a choice. It doesn't have anything to do with the other person. It has everything to do with you. Your choice, your decision to forgive. I know it's tough, ladies. I know it's hard. I'm not telling you that forgiveness is an easy thing to do. I'm not telling you that forgiveness is something that occurs overnight. It is a process. You must work at it. Just because I said I forgive today didn't mean that the next day I was feeling forgiving. So I had to put on forgiveness every day. Help me to forgive today. Help me to see my husband from a different perspective today. Help me not to focus in on what he did and what he said and how he said it. But help me to forgive him. Help me to walk in forgiveness where I can love him back. I always use the example of how Jesus Christ loves us. He's forgiven us clearly, forgiven us freely, and he never comes back and brings it up. So when we bring it back up into their faces and throw it back in their faces, what happens? That's showing them that we haven't forgiven. That's why our husbands sometimes say, I thought we was over that. I thought we got past that. No, we didn't get past it. No, we're not past it. Why? Because I haven't fully forgiven it. And so you got to realize, what kind of stuff am I, what am I really, why am I here? What's in my past that I'm holding on to? What's in my past that I ain't let go of? What happened to me as a young girl or in my previous whatevers? Previous baggage from other relationships always follow you into the new. I always talk of it from a suitcase. There are different compartments and zipper parts in our suitcases. And it's in when we get in marriage that we start to unpack those suitcases and realize we left stuff down in there. That's the stuff we have to dig out and get clean. That's the stuff where some unforgiveness is still lying. What somebody else did to you may not be what this person is doing to you. You got to let it go. You got to see the new face that's in front of you. And so forgiveness is important on every aspect of our lives. But again, I'm going to talk about that in a whole lot more detail in my 10-week course. It's going to actually be 2 full lessons of just forgiveness. Some things you're going to practice. I'm going to give some practice lessons. I'm going to give some things so you can actually practice the forgiveness with your spouses on a daily basis. Every day, I get up and I forgive my husband in advance. Yeah, in advance. I do it in advance just in case he does something. I've already extended forgiveness. I forgive in advance just in case he says something that I hear and I interpret it in a way that's not the way he meant it. So I'm going to give you some tips. There are things that you can do. Okay? Because sometimes, people don't know that they've offended you because of something else that happened in your past. Sometimes they are just doing what they normally do, and because it's something that hurt you in your past, it stirs up something in you. It stirs up something down inside of you that you say, oh my God, that sounded like when my mother said it to me. Oh, that sounded when my old boyfriend said it to me. It sounded like when somebody did this to me, right? And the person with you has absolutely no clue whatsoever that even hurt you. So you got to bring it to their forefront. Just let them know. There are things we're going to do. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you some things because I want you to walk in forgiveness. Forgiveness says, I'm going to restore you back to the place you were before this offense even occurred. I'm not going to give you the long-handled spoon. I'm not going to handle you with the long-handled spoon. I'm not going to stick my arm out and say, I forgive you, but I ain't going to never forget. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to forgive. Because when you truly forgive, you may not totally forget the whole situation, but you won't feel the same situation. You won't feel it again. It doesn't hurt me anymore. What happened in my marriage 15, 16 years ago, it doesn't hurt. From time to time, my mind does go back to it. I do remember it. But I remember it and say, wow, how far have we come? Look at where we've come from. But I don't remember it with pain and hurt and anger and anxiety. I remember it and say, wow, look what we have come from. How amazing is it that we're still together and we're greater today than when that happened, when that occurred. So, I hope you ladies have gotten a little bit of something out of me talking about forgiveness tonight. It is an important subject and it is an important topic. It is important because we need it. We absolutely have to exercise it. We absolutely have to exercise forgiveness on a daily basis. I'm going to give you some stuff in the course. So here's the deal. We've got a few spaces left for this course coming up. I would love to have some more of you join us. I would love to have you guys come on board on this first class. This first class is going to be a great class. It is I'm going to say it is the first of the beginning of many classes to come. This class, again, it's going to start on December the 5th. It's going to run for 10 weeks. You don't want to miss. I'm going to be talking about becoming his secret obsession. I'm going to be talking about the basic things we need to be doing as wives. I'm going to be talking about forgiveness, just 2 weeks of just talking about forgiveness. We're going to talk about you. Going to be bringing you to a reality of your own self-awareness and where you are as a woman, as a female, your own esteem, your own confidence. Where are you? We're going to talk about how to make love with your mouth. Yeah. I'm going to talk about how to communicate with him. And then I'm going to give you some principles from the Samson and Delilah story of what Delilah did to get the heart of Samson. We look at it from a very negative perspective, but I saw some principles when I have been studying this woman to see just how she got Samson's heart. And I believe there's some things that we can do from a very positive perspective that we can do to get the heart of our husbands. That when they lay their head in our laps, that we hold their hearts and we don't drop it. That we don't drop it and offend them and expose them, but that we hold their heart dear to us and we cultivate it. I'm going to teach you some things, just how to do, what some things you need to do to make it exciting in your bedroom. To bring some excitement to the bedroom, to bring some excitement about you. Where he walks in the house and he's looking for you. And you're excited about him reaching for him. Some of you newlyweds are still there, and I'm glad you're there. Stay there. Don't lose that. Keep the excitement. Set the atmosphere. Turn the music on. Turn down the lights. Pull the bed back. Put the roses in the bed. Yes, all the wonderful things that we did when we first got married, many of us dropped them off. Many of us don't dress to prepare for that bed. Many of us don't bathe and prepare and get ourselves ready for that bed. Many of us have put our little slinky nighties or whatever you wore away. We have never seen them before. Some of them got dust on them. When you get finished with this class, I'm hopeful that you'll start bringing those things out. That there'll be a spark in you. There'll be a burn in you to say, you know what, I want to rekindle this with my spouse, with my husband. 3 things that men need, and I've said it before. Men need food. They need peace in their house, and they need sex, and they need it with you. So I love you, ladies. Here again, if you want to be a part of this 10-week course, I need you to hit me up in my private messenger. I will be meeting with ladies all the way this week until Wednesday. And then I'll be meeting with ladies again starting next week to discuss getting in the class. Please hit me up if you are interested. Again, as I said before, the spaces are very limited. I've got few slots left, and I would love to have more of you in this class. Join me for my 10-week course entitled Becoming His Secret Obsession. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be powerful. You're never going to be the same. Your husbands are going to be so thankful that you did it, and you're going to be his obsession. You're going to be his passion. He's going to look for you. He's going to reach for you, I promise. Some of the things I'll share will be great tools you can take away for yourself. All right? So I love you all. Thank you so much for all your comments. Charlotte, I see your comment. You are absolutely right. There's certain things we just have to realize. We just got to realize where we are. And it's hard to hold on to some stuff. You got to let go. You're right. You just got to let it go. Let it be short-lived. It doesn't have to be long. And so I thank you guys for your comments. Give me some feedback in my messages. Give me some feedback here. Let me know what you think about what we're doing. Let me know if you think this is good, if we need to continue it. Let me know if there are things you want to hear me talk about, things you want to put on the burner for the next few sessions. I'm not going to come back on this week because this is our week preparing for Thanksgiving. I know many of you will be traveling. Many of you will be cooking. I'm cooking. Yes, I'm cooking. Y'all pray for me. But no, I can cook pretty good. But anyway, so I know you guys will be traveling, and I'm hopeful that you guys will have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving celebration with your families. Always remember that giving thanks in all things, that we give thanks in all things, for this is the will of God concerning us. I know I'm not going to promote anybody's one religion, but I do say give thanks. It is important that we do that. And so I want to just kind of give you that heads up there that we won't be back on again this week. We'll be meeting back again on next Monday. I'll be back in, ready to share some more things with you. I hope I hear from some more of you ladies to get you guys in this course. Hit me up. Let me know you want to be a part. We'll talk about all the details. Get you going. We're excited. Love you much. Have a great, great week. Thanks, ladies, for joining me tonight. See you later. Bye.